we can wipe this one off the board. Cropland 4930, 36 acres worth. Let's get her out. Bust through it, Robert. Bust through it. Come right through the center. Come right through the center. Bust through it. Moment of truth, guys. Let's see if today's gonna be a good day or a bad day.
I wanna ride on a John Deere tractor. I wanna work out in the field. These hands are full of dust. I guess that's all my world. Mighty fine fields, beautiful yields. Mighty fine, mighty fine. Mighty fine fields, beautiful yields. I hope they get me high. The farmer, the farmer, the farmer, the farmer.
I call that tickle tillage. We ain't wanting to work it, we're just wanting to tickle it. We want to just bust that old soil open a little bit, scratch it, knock off any humps and high spots where the planter has a nice smooth ride. Maybe he'll catch this when he comes back. I'm wanting them to run it through these holes, and like you see a sprayer rut there, knock that sprayer rut out where it'll go on and start draining out of here. It's a took some persuasion to get him to do it, but he did it. And then he's gonna squeeze through here and get it from that angle, I think. He's never pulled that thing before in that situation. I don't think he realizes that that thing don't pull, that it don't sink down in the mud like, say, a do-all or something. So it don't, and it's so wide you ain't got to get close to the hole. So you can do a lot more with that thing for an old mud hole like that. A lot of times, pieces of tillage equipment like a disc or a do-all or a field cultivator, a lot of times they'll dip the mud out of the hole and just make it that much worse. The only thing about that thing is in like patches, it's not the most maneuverable thing. I brought the ripper over here and ripped out some dirt pan tracks, and then I set it, the ripper down in a spot or two, and this old ground was pretty mellow. It don't take long to fill this little 150-gallon tank up, and I've still got enough in there for 10 acres, so we ain't gonna be pumping but 100 gallons in, and got all this mixed accordingly. There's a lot of snake oils out there. Some of this stuff works. You just got to be willing to test it on your farm. Start on a small scale and work your way up. That's what we've done on our farm, and we found some things that'll work. You get that thing too full, when you pick it up there, it wants to run out the lid a little bit, and that's no bueno. No bueno. That stuff is expensive. We don't want to be wasted. This planter gave us a world of trouble yesterday. I didn't bring you along to see that, but I ain't talked to you none in the cab about planting yet. So hopefully things are gonna run smoother tomorrow. But I'm gonna put this trailer up, fold this planter up, and back it in the shed, and I'll tell you a little bit about our troubles we had yesterday. So Thursday, Robert gets over and runs the do-all. And I guess it's the last burn that we hadn't changed. It went down. And I mean, it's just the balls, it's a ball burn and just the balls come out of it. The race was still turning in the housing. I asked him, I said, is it dragging up? He said, no, it's still turning, everything fine, it's just squeaking. I said, send it. I said, I've worked on it, all I'm working on it, send it. So, he got that 50 acres do-all for me, and I got that 50 acres planted that Thursday. So Friday morning rolls around, we got a disc with a blade broke. He hit a chunk of concrete over on that farm. Just random chunk of concrete in the middle of the field. Probably where our old house or something was, and we drug it up with a ripper. That's part of the joys of running a ripper. You don't never know what you're gonna pull up. And moved to the next field, and I started having intermittent power troubles. My rate on my hydraulic drive would tick down, and then it would come back up, and it's kind of like a roller coaster, and then it just quit. I thought, all right. Then I got to noticing it would do it when my air compressor kicked on. I thought, well, when that air compressor kicks on, it's stealing power from it. So I thought, all right, you know, if I change my air pressure, I may just have to, you know, stop and adjust my air pressure, let the compressor kick off, and then go back to plant. No big deal. So we learned that, and I learned to do that, and go back to planting, plant half the farm. It does good, but well, by this time it's getting dark on me. Well, I turn on the lights, and that computer system goes absolutely bonkers. I mean, just does some stupid stuff. I got 2 batteries on the tractor, but everything hooked up on one side. I got the starter fertilizer pump, I got that compressor, all the controls for that stuff. I said, we just pulling too much on that battery. So I just moved the power for the roll clutches and rate control to the other battery. It goes nuts. Well, I got an idea. I finally just quit at 11:35, quit messing with it. I said, you know what? I got an idea. That brings us to today. This morning, I went to the old Napa and I bought me a battery. We got that rate controller and that section controller pulling power off this battery, totally different, totally separate from all those other systems. There is one thing that ties them together, and that's this wire right here. It can draw a little power through that wire, but I went to Napa and got this. This is a 2-pole connector specifically for applications like this. We got this big wire, and this is more or less just this is to keep that battery charged. That's all that's for. And Robert and I was right before the point of just giving up and quitting. We was fixing to come up here and get this Rawson. And I got back here and got to fooling around. And I plugged something up. And I don't know if y'all can hear it, I'll be real quiet. Y'all hear that inside that motor? I told Robert when the minute I hooked that up and it come on, I said, I guarantee you that thing will work now. Got in there and screened, bloop, 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 found my modules, found everything. And it went back to working right. But I will show you another issue that I found that I imagine was the culprit of it. That I think was the culprit that caused all the trouble, but it just losing signal with them modules. It losing signal with them modules, and then it just never could seem to pick them back up. I'm normally pretty dang good with this old stuff, but this one threw me for a loop. You had this connector right here. This was the tractor end, this was the planter end. But you never could really get them to lock together. And you got a connection here, a connection here, a connection here, and a connection here. Well, I thought to myself, well, these are just, you know, these are just connectors like this, you know. Why do you need this thing in here? Just hook that up, just hook this up and this up to that end on the tractor. It makes no sense to have that in there. So, right there we're eliminating 4 connections. And then this right here is the next thing. We bought part of this system used. And at some point in its life, it got smushed. And what it was doing, here's my theory. During the day, when the lights wasn't on, that tractor was able to send enough juice back there to run all that stuff. But there's about a half a volt voltage difference by the time you get from the battery on that tractor back about halfway that hitch. There's a half a volt voltage. And I figured when you turn them lights on, you probably dropped a volt on your voltage. And then you have that other half a volt of voltage loss, and then you're trying to send it through these smashed wires here. I think that was our culprit. I think as long as you wasn't running it a long time, it did good, but probably when things get hot and gave trouble, then you wasn't pushing enough voltage through that because them wires were smushed. Everything's been fueled, oiled, greased, lubed, massaged. You name it, it's been done. 7 a.m. in the morning, we're supposed to be ready to go to the field. Alright guys, while I'm out here, while I'm waiting for my GPS to boot up, I'm going to go out here, crank my agitation pump. Let all that fertilizer we pumped in last night be stirring up. It should be fine, but I like to let it circulate through her at least 5-10 minutes, get it stirred up good before we start planting. Cranking good. We ain't got a time for all this morning, so we're gonna give her a little summertime air. Ain't it crazy just what a little sniff of that'll do sometimes? Can't beat that summertime air. Tractor's locked in. I got the field loaded up, putting my tablet in here, putting the charger on it. It didn't want to charge yesterday. Y'all see a shelling corn that year. Make the front active. Make active. We're gonna take these two out of the equation because we got Cropland 4930. It should be in here from last year. Armor 5497, 48860. I thought it would be in there. There it is, 4930. Boom. Confirm. Gonna go over here to starter fertilizer and document this. 32 ounces of citric zinc. That's right. We do not have humic acid in there. Well, we got a little bit. I figured it up. We got 8 ounces to the acre in there, so we ain't gonna work. We're gonna put 8 ounces there. Citric zinc, 5 ounces of Ascend, and we should be ready to go in that aspect. Moment of truth, guys. Let's see if today's gonna be a good day or a bad day. says it's planting. That's a good thing. Marker A spot, and then we're gonna drive to the end. We're gonna mark our B spot. It says we're planting 28,000, and I got two rates. I got a 28,000 rate and a 30,000 rate. Just a little rough right there where we done some dirt pan work, but I didn't want to work it up because I didn't want it to start washing. But most of the field should be good and smooth. So I'm here in the corner. I'm gonna set my B mark. Got my AB line made. Gonna plant up into the corner. Gonna turn my seed and my fertilizer off. I'm gonna hit pause on my boundary. Pick my planter up, pick my marker up just a hair. Ain't no sense in picking it up all the way because I'm fixing to just set it right back down. We gonna turn around here, back in the corner. Well, we're sitting up here planting corn. Running about 4 or 7. I go a little slower in spots. It might be a little rough. But that Phillips hair, I did a nice job of slicking it off. Just looking out here, you would think it's dry. Just cause there's dust fogging behind the planter don't mean it's dry. I guess you would say no tilling this corn. We pulled that Phillips hair across it. It just knocks the high spots off and fluffs up a little loose dirt. I'll tell you a little more when I get turned around here and can show you a few things. Here is planting pretty decent. Down there, once you get below that basin, I was getting pretty tough on myself. It ain't nothing but just pure mud down there. It looks dry on top and dust be fogging behind that planter, but I got out and got to digging. I've dug behind a darn planter more this year than I think I have the past 3 years combined. I miss planting when I was just blissfully unaware. When we get out here, we'll stop and spin it around and take a look at what we got, and I'll show you a few things here. I called old crop critic and we worked on a few things on my planter. Took a little downforce off my wheels. I was running pretty heavy on the downforce, but I think we're gonna plant this farm and shut down and let her do a little drying. Now you look at that right there. Does that not look dry? Tractor's not cleating down. Looks dry. Now let's look at this. It ain't crumbling that seed trench. Look at there. Just screwed right here on the beginning. Look at this. It's on the hills a little better. It's crumbling, but look at this. Pure freaking mud. This is Saturday and people has been planting since Monday. I'm gonna finish this 16 acre field up. We may, I don't know. Got all my earthworms there. We may just go fishing tomorrow. I don't know. We got to spray some burn down. We're definitely spraying burn down tomorrow. Even when we got good planting conditions here in West Tennessee, we still screw it up. In the old days, planting corn used to be my absolute favorite job. And now it's so darn stressful just trying to get everything right. We're still 2 weeks ahead of what we was last year, so I don't know what my hurry is, but that's what we got. Looks dry on top, but it ain't up underneath. Now all that worked up ground, boy, it planted great. There's a little creek bottom down there that was that did not have weight on it, that is laid bare all winter. I may go try to plant it and see how. I may go down there and dig in it and see if we can make a mud ball out of it. If it'll crumble up, we may go plant it. I'm gonna slow down here a little to 4 miles an hour. I was running about 4.5, but with trying to keep the pressure lower on them gauge wheels so that we don't compact the sidewall on that seed trench. We don't see them units bouncing a lot, but we don't have the right conditions to be out here.
All you follow the 5678 and the straight round up.
Yeah, the 5678 gonna be our refuge corn this year.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
But just trying to do the best with what we got. I'm just aggravated, frustrated, but at least we are getting a good window to plant this year. Y'all can watch the road shutoffs work here, watch the new setup. I like to let them get all cut off before before I shift down, because I set them up to operate. They'll operate at other speeds, but they're like calibrated for like 4 miles an hour. So that's the speed I try to run when I turn them on. I'm gonna flip my fertilizer on here, then I'm gonna flip my switch. Y'all can watch them click on one by one, and then the monitor will quit fussing in a minute. There it is. It'll take it a little minute to start reading right. We're planting about 29,000 on this old hill. Of course, we got climate field view here working, mapping varieties and populations and all that good stuff, but I don't know why this darn thing ain't charging with that charger. But fixing to dim the screen there where we don't run my battery down on it, and we'll go from there. But that's how all this is working.